Hi, I'm Adam from Base Bikes, and I want to take you for a quick walkthrough of what makes the Base 16 so special. Well, the first thing is the weight. At under 7 kilograms, this is one of the lightest 16-inch kids bikes in the world. A lightweight bike is easier to get on, get off, push off, and bring to a stop. This also means less fatigue and more fun for the rider. And a lightweight bike is especially important when learning to ride. A lightweight bike is also much easier for a parent to carry. Now this bike is also really unique, especially in the Australian market, in that it doesn't have a coaster brake. Now what do I mean by a coaster brake? Well, a coaster brake is also referred to as a back pedal brake, and it's a brake that engages the rear brakes when a child pedals backwards. Now, they do allow for some pretty big and fun skids, but they're a bit of a problem when kids are learning to ride for a couple of reasons. First, they don't allow a child to rotate the pedals into the correct starting position. And they also don't allow a child to level the pedals for their balance while they're riding. Now, instead of a coaster brake, this Base 16 bike has what's called a freewheeling rear hub, which allows completely free rotation backwards of the pedals. Now, a couple of other really cool features of this bike is the low center of gravity. Now, it gets this really low center of gravity by having what's called a very low bottom bracket height. This is the bottom bracket down here where the pedals and cranks connect into the frame. Having that really low keeps the weight of the bike and the rider really low as well. And we couple that with a very low seat height, which means younger children can start learning to ride with their feet flat on the ground. And that's the best way to start learning to ride. And speaking of the seat, this seat is similar to what you might find on an adult's bike in that it's super adjustable. It's adjustable both forwards and backwards, and also by tilting, which means you can totally customize this bike for your child. There's a lot of little features that are a little bit hard to spot that really increase the durability of the bike. So for example, all of these bolts are anodized, which protects them from corrosion. Same thing with this cable elbow here, that's stainless steel. The spokes are all stainless steel. So we've really gone out of our way to make sure this bike lasts as long as it possibly can. So it's a really good investment. Now, I just want to take a closer look at the handlebars and grips because quite a lot of thought has gone into the design of those. Just starting with the grips, they're quite small diameter, so they're really well suited to a young child's hands. The smaller diameter allows a child to securely hold on while they're riding, which makes it a lot safer for a young child. And you can also see right here, there's actually a little clamp bolt. And what that means is that it holds the grip firmly in place, because if these grips either come off or if the ends are deteriorated, it can actually cause a fairly serious risk of a puncture injury. Now, the other thing is these brake levers. So these are child-specific Tektro brake levers, and you can see how small they are just by how big my hand is in comparison. Now, the distance here between the lever and the grip is really important because, again, for small hands, we want to make sure that they can easily reach those levers. Now, the braking for the Base 16 is taken care of by these Tektro linear pull V-brakes, which are really powerful brakes. And what that means is it's very easy for a young child with only a small amount of hand pressure to bring this bike to a safe stop. Now, another really child-specific feature of this bike is the cranks. Now, the cranks are what the pedals connect to. Now, these cranks are just the right length for a child aged between 3 to 6, but they also, and really importantly, have a very narrow Q factor. Now, the Q factor is the horizontal distance between the pedals. And if you imagine you've got pedals that are set really wide apart, it means that the child's legs are going to be really splayed out when they're trying to pedal. And that's a really inefficient pedaling position. These cranks have a very narrow Q factor, and that means that the child's legs are in a nice vertical position which makes pedaling a lot easier. Now, base bikes are tested to meet Australian product safety standards, and of course, they come fitted with reflectors and a bell as required. Now, when you receive a base bike straight out of the box, it's going to be only 5 to 10 minutes to assemble it, so be sure to check out my other videos for the easy assembly. And the last thing is the awesome matte paint finish, which just looks great.